Hi guys, welcome back to Econ Time with SK. So grab your notebooks, your favorite cup of coffee, and let's get started. In the previous video, we had learned that in the perfectly competitive market, the equilibrium price is determined. How? Wherever quantity demanded equals to quantity supplied, that is the equilibrium price. And with that, we also get the equilibrium quantity, right? This is the total quantity that is being bought and sold in the market. And then what a perfectly competitive firm does is it takes this price P star as given and it can successfully sell everything that it produces at this P star. So if it were to produce Q1 quantity, it would be selling all of it at P star. If the firm's capacity was such that it can produce up to Q2, it would be able to sell all of Q2 at the market price of P star. Similarly, if the firm's capacity was such that it could produce Q3 amount, it would be able to sell all of it at P star. Now, you may wonder how does a firm figure out whether to produce Q1, Q2, or Q3? That you're going to see in a later video where you will realize that firms choose to produce a quantity Q star such that profit is maximized. So we will look at that in greater detail later. But getting back to this discussion, the other thing I want you to remember is that each individual perfectly competitive firm is a very small fraction of the market. What do we mean by that? Think of it in this way. If the market is buying and selling, let's say 1 million units of this good, an individual perfectly competitive firm could just be producing 10 units or 15 units. So you can see that 10 or 15 is a very small fraction of this 1 million units. So that's why we are saying that whatever it is producing, it is such a small quantity. The firm is so small that and there's so many sellers that any one firm, which is a very small fraction of the market, cannot influence the market price. Instead, what do? They look at the market, whatever is the price, they take that as given, and they can sell everything that they produce at this market price. So let's look at it in some more detail. What do we actually mean when we say that the perfectly competitive firm faces a perfectly elastic demand curve? Well, first, what it means is that if the firm were to charge P1 or P2, so look at the diagram here. If the firm was to charge a price here, P1, or a price P2, which is above P star, what would happen is that consumers would just shift to alternatives, right? So consumers would just shift to the next store. Why? Why? Number one, there are actually many sellers, right? So there are many options to switch to, many other places that's going to sell this good. At the same time, the goods are identical. The consumer doesn't feel that there's any difference between them. So if this guy is suddenly decides to charge a higher price, consumers will just move to somebody else who's selling the same thing at a lower price. So what's going to happen if in this case this particular firm was to increase the price, quantity demanded for this firm's product would go to zero, right? Would go down to zero. So it is best that the firm actually sells at the market price P star, and when it sells at the market price P star, it can actually sell any quantity that it produces. So if it produces Q1, it can sell all of it. If it produces Q2, it can sell all of it. If it produces Q3, it can sell all of it at P star. Now the question is, can this firm charge less than P star? Now, when do firms usually lower the price? They usually lower the price when they want to steal consumers from the other competitors, right? But in this case, we already said that, you know what, whatever he's producing, he can just sell it all at their given market price. So if he were to lower it, he would still be able to sell everything that he produces. It's just that he would be selling it at a lower price, which means basically, if he were to lower price, let's say to P3, right? So let's say the maximum capacity he's got is he can produce Q3 units. So now what's going to happen is that at P3, his total revenue is this area, right? Whereas if he was to charge P star and he would still be able to sell all the items that he produces, that is, his total revenue would be this red region plus the blue region, right? So if he decides to lower the price of P3, what happens is his total revenue actually falls to only the blue region. So of course, in this case, it makes no sense for this perfectly competitive firm to lower the price. So that is the implication of the perfectly elastic demand curve. All right, guys, I shall see you in the next video. Take care. Bye.